As you can probably tell, Lion and I were feeling pretty triumphant when we discovered the first tomatoes of the season growing on the vines. Actually, Lion's been so excited that she's been spending most of her time out in the garden guarding the tomatoes. Sort of like a scarecrow, except, well, more like a love lion. She even insisted on sleeping out all night in the garden all week long to keep a close eye on them. She didn't want the Big Bad Booorrata to get its gooey hands on any of her precious tomatoes. But eventually, entranced by the peaceful fire and the smell of the wood smoke, the starry sky overhead and the juicy tomatoes on the vine, Lion was lulled to sleep, warm in the winter glove that I had let her borrow as a sleeping bag. She sure does look peaceful there, doesn't she? I bet she's dreaming about making fresh tomato sauce, or salsa, or tomato chutney, or a tomato sandwich, or caprese salad. Wow. Early the next morning, Lion slowly awoke as the last wisps of smoke drifted from her fire. She was feeling pretty groggy until she remembered what day it was. Tomato Day! The greatest day of the year! Better than any holiday, better than any birthday. It's the first day of the year that we have fresh tomatoes to pick and eat. Are they ready to pick yet? Lion says yes. Here's the very first one. Still a little green, but I bet it'll be delicious. Oh, you dropped your lucky tomato hat. Here comes the second. And the third. And the fourth. We're going to have a haul, aren't we? These yellow pear tomatoes look delicious. Thanks for all your hard work, buddy. Of course, these beautiful tomatoes didn't just magically appear. Lion and I have been working super hard to get them to where they are today. This is a Black Prince tomato plant. It's been growing since early March, and believe it or not, it actually started growing inside under special LED grow lights that helped it get a head start before the spring and summer sun came back to Massachusetts. If we look toward the base of the plant, we find tomatoes' roommate, basil. I plant most of my tomato plants alongside basil because basil helps keep tomatoes healthy. They keep away garden pests, and there's a lot of anecdotal evidence that they also improve the taste of tomatoes. Before my tomatoes were vines, they were seedlings. And before they were seedlings, they were seeds. Here are the seed packets that all my seeds came in. I got these yellow pear tomato seeds from the library. And here we have my spookiest tomato seeds. They make a medium-sized red tomato. Next we have the Black Prince tomato seeds. They make a medium-sized fruit, darker in color. And last but not least, we have my organic Cherokee purple tomatoes. They are by far the biggest tomatoes that I have growing in my garden. Here, I'll take a couple out so you can see what they look like. I need to be super gentle with them to not harm the seeds so that they can grow next year when I'm ready for more tomatoes. Here they are. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 3 tomato seeds. These 3 seeds could make 3 new tomato plants. I'll put them away to save for next year. Once the seeds sprout, they grow into seedlings. These are baby tomatoes. They've just started growing. 1, 2, 3. 3 seedlings. Right now they're living and growing in an old soda pop bottle. I upcycled this bottle into a hydroponic planter. These are the air holes to allow the water to evaporate off and for oxygen to get to the roots that come out of the bottom of what used to be the top of the bottle. There are so many ways to upcycle in the garden. How do you reuse things at home? Once tomato seedlings are 6 to 12 inches tall and have strong roots, they're ready to move into a bigger home. I like to label popsicle sticks to help me remember which tomato plants are growing in which containers. This one is going to be for a stoupice tomato. Let's see here. S-T-U-P-I-C-E spells stoupice. Let's see, here's my stoupice seedling. It's actually a clone. I'll say more about cloning in just a bit. I've got my mycorrhizal inoculum and a new, bigger container for my tomato plant to grow big and strong in. This stoupice tomato is going to grow in a fabric planting bag. Fabric bags are great because they weigh almost nothing, so they're easy to move around. They're way more environmentally friendly and sustainable than plastic planters, and they're better for plants. They let lots of air get into the roots, and they make sure that your tomato is never trapped in standing water. Tomato plants hate standing water. They need excellent drainage. All right, I'm going to make a little hole. There you are. Here's that mycorrhizal inoculant. It's full of microorganisms that have symbiotic relationships with plants. They help plants grow, and the plants help them grow. Maybe we can get some more information about the word symbiotic from Snake.
Excuse us, Snake. Just a moment, please. Let's see. Migrate. To move from one country, place, or locality to another. My family moved here from Mexico when I was just a snakeling. So I suppose that means I am a migrant. Interesting. Now then, how can I help you today? We were wondering if you could tell us what the word symbiotic means. Ooh, symbiotic. Symbiotic. That would be the adjective form of the noun symbiosis. Symbiosis. I'll look that up now in my dictionary. Let's see here. S-Y-M. Here we are. Symbiosis. Symbiosis. This word comes to us directly from the Greek word symbiosis, meaning the state of two or more different kinds of organisms living together. Can people have symbiotic relationships? Good question. It says here that symbiosis can also mean a cooperative relationship between people. So yes, people can have symbiotic relationships. Indeed, people should have symbiotic relationships. I suppose a family, at least a healthy family, is a good example of a symbiotic relationship. What about basil and tomatoes? We learned earlier that they like to live together. Are they symbiotic? Well, do they help each other to stay healthy and to grow big and strong? Yeah. Then what do you think? I think they have a symbiotic relationship. You're right. Thanks, Snake. As always, where words are concerned, the pleasure's all mine. Now, where was I?
I have symbiotic relationships with Snake, Lion, my cats Remy and Beatrice, my wife Jenny, and of course, all of my botanical buddies. In a symbiotic relationship, everybody wins. Who do you have a symbiotic relationship with? How do they help you? How do you help them back? Now let's finish up planting that tomato. I want to make sure that the mycorrhizal inoculant is right on the surface of the soil where I'm going to put these roots. You can see the white roots coming out of the base of this stem. And I need those roots to be touching the microrhizomes in order for them to work their symbiotic magic. I gently settle this tomato into its new home. Now I'm pressing down just a little bit to make sure that the soil is compact and strong enough to hold the seedling upright. I sure wouldn't want this youngling to tip over. There you go, little buddy. All set. As the tomato plant grows, I have to prune it regularly. I'm always on the lookout for tomato suckers like this one. I know it's a sucker and not the main stem because there's flowers growing above it, like you see here. Those flowers are going to become new fruit, and I cut away the suckers so that it doesn't zap the energy away from those new fruits. Don't worry, I'm not going to waste this little guy. I'm going to hold on to it for later. I'm going to put that back for just a second. There. The other way that you can tell the difference between a tomato sucker and the main stem of the vine is by looking at the angles. This is a 90-degree angle. It looks like one corner of a square or rectangle. If I split that right angle down the middle, I get a 45-degree angle. Can you see those angles here on our tomato vine? The branch coming off the main stem to the right is a sunleaf. We want to keep that one. The branch coming off the main stem at a 45-degree angle is the tomato sucker. Here's that sucker growing at a 45-degree angle from the main stem. I'm going to snip it off and take it inside to propagate. Here's that tomato sucker that you saw me cut off of my vine. I'm ready to propagate it now in some fresh water. These are some others that I started a few days ago. They've already sprouted beautiful roots, and they're just about ready to plant. Each tomato sucker that I carefully clip away can become a clone of the vine that I cut it from. A clone is a copy. Each of these tomato suckers can grow into a copy of the original tomato plant that they came from. I make sure to give them fresh water each day to keep them disease-free and so that they can grow strong, robust roots that will take to the soil quickly and grow beautiful tomato plants. Most of the tomato plants you see growing in these black bags were cloned from the first round of tomatoes that I planted at the end of March. I ended up with a whole lot more clones than I needed, so I decided to give them away. I gave away dozens of tomato clones to my neighbors. They didn't have to go to the store or spend any money to start their tomato gardens, and that made me feel really, really good. What's something generous or kind that you've done for your neighbors or loved ones lately? How did it make you feel in your heart to be kind?
Some people say that you should take a little time each day to talk to or even sing to your plants. They say that it helps them grow. Now, that's what I would call a perfectly beautiful and harmless superstition. It's not something that I think is scientifically true. I don't really think that the plants care whether or not I sing to them or that it will change the way they grow. But on the other hand, I think it's a really lovely idea, and it's an idea that makes me happy, and it certainly doesn't do any harm. So I like to take some time to read books to my plants. Today, I'm going to share with you What If by Samantha Berger and illustrated by Mike Carato. This is a beautiful book. I'm really excited to share it with you. Lion, do you think you could hold it for me so that I can read? Thanks, buddy. There's the hero of our tale. This is What If. Again, the author is Samantha Berger. Special thanks to her and to Mike Carato and to Little Brown and Company Publishing. With a pencil and paper, I write and draw art to create mini stories that come from the heart. But what if that pencil one day disappeared? I'd fold up the paper till stories appeared. And what if that paper was no longer there? I'd chisel the table and then carve the chair. And what if there wasn't a chair here at all? I'd chip and I'd peel at the paint on the wall. And what if there wasn't a wall anymore? I might build a story from boards in the floor. Without any floor, I could still use the land and sketch out my tale in the dirt with my hand. It sounds like no matter what you take away from her, she'll always find a way to be creative. I think that's pretty inspirational. I like this little girl. I could still shape the leaves. I could still sculpt the snow. I could still plant the flowers and make kingdoms grow. Without any land, I would still use the light. Invent shadow stories. The sun would ignite. See her making hand puppets there? If there was no light, I would still use my voice to sing out my stories, to chant and rejoice. I'd still have my body to twist and to bend, to dance out my stories, beginning to end. If I had nothing, but still had my mind, there'd always be stories to seek and to find. Pretty tricky, huh, Lion? You're doing great, bud. Stick with it. Whoa, the wind's making it tricky. This is the best part. Hold on. If I know nothing but one bit of fate, as long as I live, I will always create. As long as I live, I will always create. And there she is in her little bedroom, and we can see her imagination at work, creating beautiful images in her mind and down on her piece of paper. I try my very best to be the same kind of person as this little girl. I hope that as long as I live, I will always create. That's my goal. I work at it every day. I hope that you're that way too. I hope that as long as you live, you'll be like this little girl, and you'll always create. You'll always make, try, and do new things to make the world a fuller, more beautiful place. Here, I got it, Lion. Thanks for your help, bud. How'd you like that story? Yeah, I know. She's a real inspiration to us all.
Now then, what to do with all this inspiration? I think I've got it.
This is little Sunshine, my youngest grandchild. And as you can doubtless tell by her lovely smile and shining eyes, she's on her way to visit me today. And you can bet your baguettes I'm every bit as excited as she for us to be together. Next, her big brother Pomodoro, and her even bigger sister Poison, and of course their fearless pet caterpillar, Más Azul de todos los arandanos. We usually just call him Azul, or Blue. Anyway, yes indeed, they're on their way to see me even now, and as excited as I am, the journey won't be an easy one, and I must admit that I am a bit anxious over little Sunshine. She's yet so young, and my goodness how clumsy she can be sometimes. I'm sure Pomodoro and Poison will take good care of her, and that barksome Blue has always kept the Big Bad Booorrata at bay. Still, my yellowlings will have to keep their eyes open and their wits sharp, especially in the BASIL forest. Oh dear, this is not good. Wouldn't you know it? As they come to the edge of the basil forest, Blue caught a whiff of something curious, and zoom! Off she goes, quick as a cucumber's candle. Wouldn't you know it again? When my yellowlings give chase, little Sunshine stumbles on the rocks, and down she goes. Yikes, that smarts. I don't think she's going to be able to get back up. And the others have kept going after Blue. Little Sunshine's all alone. All alone. At the edge of the basil forest. Seconds turn into minutes. Minutes turn into hours. And still my little Sunshine is all alone. She trembles as the air goes thick with the smell of lactose. The awful harbinger of the Big Bad Booorrata.
No. Little Sunshine, be brave. You've got to stare it down. Do not look away. Do you see that? Do you see how brave she is? She won't look away. She's staring right into those beady eyes. It's starting to ooze.
Brave little tomato. Run! Did you see that? Did you see that? The basil forest came to her aid. It pulled her free. Run, little Sunshine, run! Come here, little Sunshine. I love you so much. And so ends the harrowing tale of Little Sunshine and the Big Bad Booorrata.
I don't know about you, but that story made me very, very hungry. I happen to love burrata. For those of you who don't know, burrata is a type of Italian cheese. It's a lot like fresh mozzarella, but gooier. It's awesome. If you haven't tried it before, I really encourage you to give it a shot. And don't worry, I'm pretty sure my burrata is the only burrata with eyes and sharp teeth. As the saying goes, waste not, want not. I'm going to go ahead and pluck out the eyes and teeth from these tomatoes. I'm going to transform my cast of characters into one of my absolute favorite summer treats, caprese salad. Slice, 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 slice. And arrange, 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 arrange. Okay. And yellow tomatoes, boom, 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 boom. Onto the pièce de résistance, the burrata. Zoots, I am undone. See how gooey it is inside? Ah, delicious. And smush, 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 smush. So gooey. This is going to be so delicious. Just going to spread that out around on top of my tomatoes. Make sure I get all of that gooey goodness off the plate as best I can. Wipe, 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 wipe. Smear, smear, smear. And what else? Let's see. A little bit of basil next. I'm going to use that basil forest as the herbaceous kicker on this caprese salad. Here's some purple basil. And the green basil is a mix of Anton basil and Genovese basil. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Sprinkle, sprinkle. And dash of salt. A little more salt. Pepper. I love cracked pepper. Olive oil, of course. Balsamic vinegar. Drizzle, drizzle, drizzle. Drizzle, drizzle. And drizzle. Voila! What a marvelous way to celebrate Tomato Day. Caprese salad on fresh homemade baguette. Enjoy, Lion. You've earned it. How do you enjoy tomatoes? Fire roasted? Straight off the vine? On top of a good pizza? It all sounds good to me. If you're making any yummy tomato dishes or interesting tomato art these days, I would love for you to share it with us at Mr. Meadow's Garden. Upload your photos and videos to Instagram and tag Mr. Meadow's Garden. Or you can email me directly and I'll take care of the rest so that we can share your projects with our community. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great week. I wonder if any more tomatoes are ripe enough to eat.